What's going on, guys? Today we will be trying to do the least amount of jumps required to beat Katana Zero. I've seen many people do these kinds of videos and I wanted to try it out myself. So I chose one of my favorite games, Katana Zero, and made a challenge to beat the game with the least amount of jumps required. The rules are simple. I have to limit the amount of jumps required to beat this game. A jump is the animation on screen. So if I do that, then that's one jump to the jump counter. Keep in mind that a jump is that animation where the main character pushes himself off the ground by using his legs. So, what is allowed? We can use any of our moves such as rolling, attacking and so on. And I'm also adding a little technique I have invented. It involves a wall. First you get as close to the wall as possible, hold in the direction of the wall, and hold the jump button. You have to be on the ground in order for this to work, so keep that in mind. This will give you a massive boost up a wall without jumping. Plus the animation does not play, and no pushing off the ground was done. Now is this cheating? No, because without this, I don't think this challenge will be as interesting as it is, and the animation never played, so it doesn't count. Now to balance this, wall jumps are banned as they are also considered to be jumps. Our main source of gaining height will be our sword, as it launches us in the direction we want, so we can use it as a little boost when we need it. So with that all said, let me show you how I beat this game with the least amount of jumps. By the way, I will be mostly showing footage and talking about the parts of the game that we need to get past without jumping. Otherwise this video would be too long and the parts that don't need jumps would be boring to watch. First up is the factory level. The opening part just requires some sword swings, just to ease us into the challenge. A lot of this level doesn't need jumps. However, in the middle of the level is this massive wall, our first major problem. Luckily, our wall boosting technique, combined with a sword swing is just enough to get us up there, and we can also go over the second wall as well. Nothing related to this challenge is required after this part. Moving on. The hotel level is pretty much the same, except for this part. The wall is much more bigger than the last one, and our wall boost plus sword slash is not enough. Sadly, this means that one wall jump is required. At least it is not a jump, so it's not too bad. The start of the club level is pretty much the same. The reason I wanted to show this part is because you can actually jump over the guard's vision to get through it quickly, but because of this challenge, that is banned, so we must go through the normal way. A lot of this level is going downwards, which is great as no jumps are needed because why would you jump downwards, you donkey? However, our luck runs out quickly as the next room brings back Vietnam War flashbacks. This wall is just barely doable. While we can kill the man on top, we aren't able to get on top ourselves. And with that, another wall jump must be done. After that tragic scene, no more jumps are required, just some guys to brutally murder. However, if we keep going, a wall requires wall boost and sword slash to get over, but to the right are some stairs, so it is not required. The prison level is next, and just to keep things short, this level has no parts that require jumps, so we can just skip it. Studio 51 is the next one, and this level is a long one. This level requires us to collect a key from 3 different rooms in order to unlock the big door that blocks our way. Let's go with the Doom one first. This one has a lot of minecarts, and the problem with them is that they require a jump to get out of them. There are 2 lasers that need us to jump, so sadly that is 2 jumps added. And before things could get any worse, we have to jump again to get out of the cart. Wow. Another minecart means another jump. Not much happens through this part, just some dodging and fighting. That is 3 jumps and 2 wall jumps so far. Not bad, but this level is going to be adding some more, let me tell ya. Sadly, we must get back into the jump hating minecart, which is going to be another jump added. Unfortunately, we cannot skip this part as we cannot get enough height. However, after that, this part of the level has no more jumps. The next part of the level can be done with no jumps, a complete contrast from the jump hating minecart section. Similar to the last area, we can go through this part without any jumps, and with the 3 keys, we can go on to the final section. After beating the last section, which required no jumps, we face our first boss, V, the Russian gangster. He requires 4 hits in the back in order to win. However, because of story element, you don't have to beat him to progress. Just a quick tip, the wall on the left can be used to cheese this boss easily, and we can reach it with just a sword slash. No jumps required. The mansion is next, and the start just requires some sword slashes like the first level. We then surprise V and take out his guards. The next room requires us to go down and disable the electricity. However, without a wall next to the ground, we cannot perform our wall boost trick. This means that a wall jump is necessary to get past this part. Halfway through this level is this room. There are guards on top and guards on the bottom, requiring us to go down and kill them. If we go down, we can simply use our wall jump boost to get back up. We have to wait for the top guards to get in the perfect position so we can kill them, as we cannot get up there ourselves. The rest of the level doesn't need any jumps and we can get into the second boss. This boss can be done completely jumpless, so there's not much to say here. Moving on. Again, we have another level that does not require any jumps because we cannot jump in it. It is the motorbike level. Let's skip it lol. Chinatown is next, and we will have to go full on Asian in this one, as our first problem is getting the guards on top. They are simply too high, like Snoop Dogg after smoking a fat one. So, we have to go up here, and then we can get them. The next room is surprisingly simple, as all we need are some sword slashes and some big monkey bashes. At first, this next room had me worried, but then I remember the wall boost technique, and everything was fine. Just take out the guy camping at the top. Once again, wall boosts and sword slashes will get you through this part. Remember to drop a fat smoke by using the smoke bomb or else you may die. You don't have to use wall boosts, but it helps to get past the enemies. Once again, all that's needed is a sword slash to get over this police truck. Not much to say, except that you should smash the subscribe button for more videos. Moving on. Sadly, the final part of this level has a part which requires a wall jump. Some idiot didn't put it close to the ground, meaning we cannot use our trick. In the next level, we play as the dragon and we go through the events of the prison level before the main character arrives. We can skip this level too, as while he cannot throw items like the main character, he can launch himself in a direction as an attack and movement option. So we will never have to jump. Let's move on. Next level is the slaughterhouse. What a name for a level. Anyways, to make this level easier, if you cut the red wire, it will disconnect the monitor. This will make it so that you don't get shot throughout the level. I recommend the Sword of Masters for this. Its energy beam can cut it pretty quickly, as you only have 2 seconds to do so. Since you cannot jump to reach the wire, the beam will do it for you. Does this look familiar? Like in Chinatown, we have no ground to go off of. I tried using the door, but that didn't have the same function as the wall, so I ended up having to do a single wall jump. A switch in the ground requires us to go underground. It is not that low, so the wall boost gets us back up quite easily. Also, all of these enemies are so screwed, so dumb. Here's a tip. It is actually possible to skip the boss fight in this room. If you roll past the cameras, the boss fight will never trigger. With the slaughterhouse completed, it is time to do the last 2 levels. Bunker part 1 is up first, and since we are going down in this level, jumping is not often required. However, this part requires us to go up, so we can sneak past the cameras. A jump is not required, but a wall jump is. That's the only wall jump in this level. As we get blown up, we mentally prepare ourselves for the last level. Usually in this room, you would go upwards and attack them from above. However, we don't need to do that as we can just go through the door. Surprisingly, not many jumps have been made during this run, though wall jumps were an annoyance. Here you can just wait for the enemies to get in the perfect position. All that's left is the boss. This boss is the only one that requires a heavy use of jumps. However, if we can outspeed her and hit her quickly, this fight won't need any jumps. Just watch out for the bombs at the end. You will need to time your sword slash so you don't get exploded. The second phase is very similar to the first. You'll be able to reach the turrets on the left without a jump, and you can do the whole thing grounded. The Sword of Masters is very useful as its projectile can catch her off guard. And with that, Katana Zero is finished, and while it is impossible to beat it jumpless, very little jumps are required. So how many jumps and wall jumps did it take? During this run, I had 4 jumps, all of them being in Studio 51, and 6 wall jumps. So technically, 10 jumps were the minimum amount to beat this game. Maybe more with the secret boss, but probably not. Anyways, thanks for watching the whole video. Make sure to leave a comment, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.